Yeah, so if he had to walk it or write a letter, he'd be done. But yeah, I mean, if he had a phone, even like the older ones where he could just n- type in a number or dial up a number and it's like, hey, the British is coming. It would have been so much easier um, than him having to write down. But if he had a cell phone, he'd just be like, snap, hey guys, British is coming by sea. Get ready, send. You know, maybe it would have changed history. Maybe it would have been easier for us to win.
Hey there, tech enthusiasts. Welcome to Tech Time with Sweet Tea, the podcast where we dive deep into the world of technology and how it can either serve you or, well, not serve you. Here is your host, Sweet Tea, and he's on a mission to help you harness the power of tech in your life. Join him as he chats with people about their tech journeys. From the latest gadgets to digital dilemmas, we'll explore it all. So grab your favorite device, hit that play button, and let's keep it real in the world of tech. Tech Time with Sweet Tea is here to help you stay plugged in and empowered. Let's get started.
Thank you for coming on, keeping it real. Sweet Tea, we've known each other for a couple of years now.
What is it, 2 years?
2 years.
Yeah, man.
And taking on a few things, and I just want to talk about how you just look to enjoy life and just have fun in your spare time, and like what things seems to be changing with like the TV world, linear TV, like how we used to do things are changing, and I just want to talk about that and that this technology. It started out being a film in the film world, so we can talk about TV shows, we can talk about anything like that, to anything that comes to mind with regards to and with your experience of anything like that.
Well, honestly, man, like you mentioned, it's awesome to be here, you know. But TV, like you mentioned, dude, TV has definitely changed. Seems to me that every new show is just kind of like a remake of some older ones. Or because I mean, honestly, the new One Piece show that I've been watching, man, just got a live action by Netflix. They put a $20 million per episode in each episode. So they got an animation, they got a manga, they got a Netflix live series, and now they're making like a remake of the anime show with like newer resolutions, quality, and they changed a little bit of some things here and there. So it's like, why do they have to do all this? I mean, if it's animated, man, most of the time it shouldn't be live action. Um, we've seen that with previous shows. I mean, you got Disney making the Jungle Book movie. That was kind of bad. Um, and then they did The Lion King. Then what was it? I mean, honestly, dude, live action shows like The Legend of what was it? Avatar: The Last Airbender. That bombed. They I think they're just trying to grab for some money there, man. But it's hard to say.
I was in a room just last night, a little, and not, and I was hearing they were talking about like the top grossing films of, and would it surprise you at all that I don't know if Barbie was the top grossing film, and that's actually saying something. Like
What was
not too
it?
much has happened this year.
Yeah.
That was that one actually hit in the billions still, but that's saying something when that was the top grossing film.
Well, like you said, man, I have not seen Barbie yet, so obviously it will probably just grow up. But yeah, I mean, there's
Very
some.
target niche seemed to me with that whole thing. All the millennial Gen X girls, mostly a target audience for that movie. Would you say?
Yeah, I mean, from what I hear, there's some guys watch it too. Obviously, probably for market robbery. the female actors. But honestly, man, like
Yeah.
without advertisements doing TV episodes or shows, I've not seen any movie advertisements for like the new Indiana Jones movie, the Transformers movie, um, and a couple other movies like that just popped up. I'm like, hey, never even heard of it. Didn't even know they were coming out with one. So
So I don't what I when you talk anime, are you talking like animation, like not motion picture, or like 'cause I know there's a genre anime too. I don't watch too much of
yeah,
it. When I hear animation or anime, I don't think motion, live action.
no,
Kind of doesn't make sense to me, and I don't watch too much of it either.
so like when I say the word anime, I'm talking more like Japanese,
Yeah,
like
that's
kind of
what I
more
was
like
thinking of, and the Japanese anime.
yeah, stuff like that. I consider like the more American ones, like Family Guy, stuff more like cartoon anime kind of.
Hmm.
Um, because it's got different elements to it that seem to be more realistic than anime. Anime seems to be more a made up fictional characters, whereas the American animation seems to be like somewhat real. I mean, look at the Simpsons, man. They've been planning shit out for the last centuries, well, decades. You know, they're like, hey, the Simpsons said this 5, 6 years later, came true, and it's like, hmm. I mean, I just saw another post from somebody the other day that was just confirming that, it's odd that the Simpsons are like predicting the future. I mean, I don't know. It makes me want to go.
Creepy, or they have insider knowledge. I don't know.
I don't know. It makes me want to start watching it now because I can see where it's going in a couple years. Maybe they'll talk about Bitcoin, and I'll be like, all right, Bitcoin's going to go up.
Have they already?
Did they? But damn, yeah,
Or
I'm
have
already
they? I don't
behind.
know. I haven't seen too much of it lately.
I'm behind it.
Up to what I do my favorite thing. What's your favorite? I know you mentioned Netflix. Do you have any other? Maybe your favorite is at Netflix. Do you have any others?
Well, honestly, man,
Alternate between.
I mean, these are the streaming apps that I use occasionally where I actually watch TV now. I got the Netflix. I have Netflix. I have Peacock. I have Tubi. My sister has Disney Plus.
Tubi. Oh, I do remember a little bit of
Uh,
Tubi.
yeah, basically, they're like they get you with like, hey, it's free streaming, you know, TV shows. Well, dude, it's like TV back in the day. I mean, you're watching an episode, and 5 minutes in, there's a 30-second commercial.
Hmm,
Bam, right? So you don't have to
interesting.
pay. You don't have to pay like Netflix. Oh, hey, $16, $20 a month to watch TV shows. You just got to deal with the occasional ads nowadays again, which is stupid because that's how it used to be. And then they have these premium plans where you just get ad free and stuff. And what I mean,
I
it's
don't know
better
for
than
sure, but I had Prime. I just canceled it today. Amazon Prime just went up again, and they have a lesser version. If you don't, if you can deal with ads, they're going to be ads on Amazon Prime now for a cheaper price. But Amazon Prime went up too, and I just canceled that. I don't
honestly,
really watch much on there anyway. Got it mainly for the Amazon shopping.
yeah. I mean, it's cool because you get different benefits with Prime. I mean, you get the music, the TVs and movies, free shipping, and a couple other perks. But I don't even know what they charge you per year anymore. It's probably over $100 or something.
Oh, yeah, well, I think last time I paid was like 120 for the
Yeah,
year.
doesn't sound sound.
My
Doesn't sound cheap.
go-to, which has everything that I watched when I was growing up, I don't. You're not too far behind me as about age, but like everything that I had grown up is on like Nickelodeon. I know there's a lot of controversy going on with the Nickelodeon stuff, but I grew up with Nickelodeon and like CBS Viacom. So Paramount Plus is like has been they have me the most out of anything else.
CBS. What's on
Paramount
that?
Plus,
Yeah, but what kind of shows are we talking about?
Comedy Central, South Park would be on there,
Oh,
or
okay.
your Nickelodeon. I like to watch like replays of Nickelodeon, like for nostalgia. What else? Smithsonian History Channel kind of thing. If you're interested in anything like that.
Yeah. Hmm.
But
Tell
other
you what.
than that, it sounds like I learned something today from you, like with the Tubi, and a lot of others can. We're looking for that. Where'd the TV go? It sounds like Tubi. How you explain Tubi?
Yeah.
It's like ad based, like how we got it back then too.
I mean, there's a lot of different services out there. Like, yeah, I mean, I also use Peacock, which is same thing. I think I pay like a couple of dollars a month to get like the TV shows that aren't, like premium TV shows, that other places might have for free. But yeah, I grew up on like CW15, stuff like that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I come home, dude, from like elementary school, I'll be watching like Jackie Chan Adventures, freaking Cyber Chase,
I was
um,
the Power Rangers kid.
Challenge
Power.
Showdown. Yeah, Power Rangers were there, man. Like, I mean, cartoons and stuff back then used to be somewhat a lot. I don't know, better to watch than cartoons nowadays.
Well, I was excited, excited about this conversation because I knew you for a little bit and become great like friends, and we met okay like over the years since then too. And I honestly didn't know what was gonna come out of this talk, but I'm glad like the first little bit has a ton of value talking about this stuff, like where people like all these what's changing. There's a lot of stuff that's changing, and we're coming right off this episode with a bunch of value already. But I want to get into a little bit about you first before Anna and I. How like who are you? Where are you coming from? What do you do? Kind of thing.
Mm. The basic small talk, huh? Ah, I got you, man.
And I'll
Well,
save another question for the next thing.
I'm saying okay. So let's see. First of all, my name is Donald Showers. Currently 27. Let's see. I grew up in a small town of Manheim, Pennsylvania. My mom and dad had 10 kids. I am number 6 out of 10. So I'm kind of fit in that middle child age or area. Uh, used to watch TV a lot back in the day. I can't tell you, man. I'd be watching TV shows I don't even remember, but someone will post a thing and a quote from it. I'm like, oh yeah, I saw that. Um, Currently catching up on Supernatural again. Season 10 out of 15, so almost done with that. Um, Currently, and I am working in Iron Foundry, making cast iron metals for companies for trucks, railroads, tractors, construction vehicles. So basically, automotive parts for vehicles and stuff. And I've been there 3 years, almost 4, enjoying it, man. But it is a dirty job, man. Should be on Mike Rowe
Should be on that show. Then there was a show that I remember called Dirty Jobs.
with Mike Rowe. Yeah, exactly it, man. Well, let's see, man. Other than that, man, met you back in what, man, 2021, something like that. I had some IT problems, so you helped me through it. Um, Met you at the Summit of Greatness 2022.
Apparently, that's what I do.
I met you in Summit of
I don't know.
Greatness 2023. Yeah. Um, yeah, man, just it's great getting to know you, man. Some hobbies, dude. I like cars. I like collecting keys for mystery reasons. Um, and obviously mysteries. Yeah, currently trying to enjoy my life and get on the right track and build
Speaking
some
of
mindset.
enjoying your life, that's the next thing I have for you. What gets you out of bed every day? What are you
My
excited
alarm clock.
about?
My alarm clock. No,
You excited about
uh,
your alarm clock?
nah, man. It just wakes me up. No, I mean Monday through Friday, I get up to go to work. Obviously there's that. After that, man, it's just trying to build myself to the man that I want to be, which is a confident, joyful, helpful man. Um, just trying to grow out of this rat race and
Yes, you
become
are.
an inspirational man to help other people. Um, Currently working on my dream of becoming a financial educator, helping families and people understand how money works and how to make it work for them. So I'm growing on that journey, but it's one step at a time, man.
If you're anyone interested in what anything he just said there, and a little underground story there, there's underground history with that. So hit either of us up if you're interested in stuff something like that.
Yeah, man.
I heard that way from our mutual. I don't know. I call him a mentor, a digital internet mentor, Lewis Howes. But that's how Lewis Howes put it. Someone else brought it up. Is like, oh wow, they actually brought up that thoughtful, passionate, connected leader. All right, they actually brought it up, and how he brought it up was like, if a little bit of the underground, there's a little bit of underground story there.
Hmm. It's a lot of story there.
Oh yeah.
Great, man. So
So work on yourself every day. Emotional intelligence, all of that. Great stuff. So
working with
go ahead.
oh no, I was just gonna say, I mean, I'm working with a friend named Kevin to train myself to be a man to help other guys out. You know, teach them how to be a masculine man without being what's the word? Uh, yeah, being a masculine man without being overly masculine. That's what I should say. All right.
Right on, yeah. So stuff that we like was talking right out of the gate in this episode, and out of all that, for someone who doesn't know, like they're coming from the analog, the TV, like you're grabbing the remote, trying to switch on the TV and the coaxial cable back 10, 15 years ago. What advice would you say to them? What they're like, I can't get my content. I can't get this. How do you get this to show up? How do you watch what you want? What's like maybe a number one advice you have for that person
Back then or nowadays?
for now, like how they
No.
watch their stuff now? You said a lot
Honestly,
of it, but the number one
um,
advice.
first things first is probably just the. I mean, I normally just Google what my TV show would be on, um, and then try and find what platform it's on, and then just go from there. You could also, I mean, most people now have smart TVs. I just got one. Actually, it comes with a Google Cast in it. It's like Apple TV or Amazon Prime or
Mhm.
Fire Stick. Um, you just hit a little button, you speak into it, and you're like, "Hey, find Jackie Chan Adventures." It pops up. Um, I mean,
Ask Google. That
yeah,
isn't that the thing? One of the things anyway. Just ask Google. Where is
But
this? How can I watch this? Where is this available?
first things first. I mean, yeah. Obviously, if, if your friends are speaking it to you about it to you, hey, yo, what are you watching on? Can I use your account to watch it if you don't have Prime or something?
Second, good
Borrow it.
second advice, word of mouth.
But yeah, I mean, there's lots of streaming apps: Peacock, uh, Tubi, Netflix, Hulu, Disney, Amazon Prime. I use Vudu or Movies Anywhere too. It's like a gigantic library of movies. They have ones for free. Sometimes I buy them just so that way I have them for later. Um, or I mean, you could just buy a disc, a DVD. But yeah, man. I mean, there's lots of different streaming apps. There's one called Plex. Again, you just gotta watch the ads sometimes. Or if you're a little more tech savvy than I am, more like you probably, or my sister's boyfriend or husband, he's got ways to get movies for free, legally for free, I should say. Um, but yeah, if you're looking for it, man, it's probably online somewhere.
There's those people that look to just avoid seeing the ads or there's some like there's these fast forwarding things that you can use to fast forward their ads, but there's these people who just look to avoid the ads, and that's really the way of the world. Like there's no real way of getting around truly not seeing commercials, ads, because that's how the needle moves usually. There's no real way around it unless you actually pay money.
Yeah,
So there's
so
an option now. If you want no ads, you pay money, and everyone's happy.
yeah, I mean, like you mentioned, man, most TV shows companies, the only way they make money is through advertisements. I mean, it's it's why there are jobs out there, man. Super Bowl makes money because people pay millions of dollars to get a 30-second ad inside a Super Bowl. Why? Because you got viewers watching that. When you got tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people watching one channel, you can get an advertisement across hundreds of thousands of people like that. You're always going to pay money. So when companies say, "Hey, you can watch a TV show, but we're going to put ads in it," and you don't like that, then they're like, "Hey, just pay us a monthly subscription. We'll take those ads out." I mean, it's the way the company can still make money and keep the customers happy. So
Options. The way what I see and what I hear from all of that, what they're doing now is options. You have
yeah,
options on how you watch
it's nice, man. But
instead of just the one way contract that you sign up for a year or two and you're stuck in a contract and you have no options in that contract.
yeah, definitely.
That's definitely not the way to go from years past. So I tend to I like this way a lot better, like direct to consumer. You choose what you want to watch, you choose what you see, not you're buying all these subscriptions that you necessarily don't watch on a cable package.
Oh
That
yeah,
makes sense for me.
and you don't have to watch some stupid ads either. I mean, I know I was watching some free channels, 8.2 back in the day, um, for older TV shows. And man, I tell you what, the number of commercials I've seen for ankle commercials, back pains, elderly care, you know, medicine, if you took this type of medicine, you might be able to get a lawsuit payment. I'm like, man, I don't want to watch
Puts a
that.
lot of stuff in your head too when you watch all that. It's like, is this what's
Yeah.
gonna happen to me when I get old?
Yeah, I'm just trying to sit there and enjoy, watching a TV show, and then this ad about some older lady, life alert and stuff, and I'm thinking, I don't. It doesn't help me now. It might in the future, but not now.
Wow. Yeah,
So
I see a bunch of lawyer and getting ready to sue this company or sue this person.
yeah, man.
fun question. What is something that you wish was around 10 years ago that's like here now? What you wish you had 10 years ago?
I mean, if we're talking like TV stuff and movies,
Or anything, if it's TV or if it's
probably
something else that comes to mind
more like quality,
in the tech
um,
forum.
the quality of photos and pictures. I mean, I remember watching shit back in 144 pp, um, pixelated stuff, having to squint eyes to make screen clear. Nowadays, I mean, 720p is just it's just great. I mean, obviously, some people out there with 1080 or 4K or 8K, even 10K is coming out. Might be a little excessive, but yeah, just having better quality back then would have made things so much easier. Um, but other than that, yeah, man, having
The
better quality back
detail
then.
in the photos, photography detail.
Yeah, because they say a picture is 1,000 words, so you can't see the picture. You don't get the full words.
That's true. Let's see here. What is how often do you use it like this way too? Like how is there's obvious too, and you can explain like more in detail on that, like to your experience too. How does technology change the way you communicate and with each other, and what's the impact? Is this like this? We're on Zoom right now. The impact of this, like I'm in
Oh,
Texas,
yeah,
you're in outskirts of Philly, Pennsylvania.
yeah, outskirts, man. I get
Without
Manhattan.
Zoom, this wouldn't be able to happen unless we like travel to each other in person.
Yeah, so technology for communicating has definitely grown exponentially and for the better, I think. But yeah, it's I mean, obviously, like you said, we get to talk here. You're down in Texas. I'm in Pennsylvania. It's great seeing you through a video instead of just on a phone call. Like you could be sitting on a couch, watching TV or something, but I actually get to see you face to face. You get to see me, but yeah, Zoom's great. Communication is definitely faster and easier than before. Than I mean, back in the day, man, if we want to communicate without having to text or the internet or anything, I had to send you a letter. That letter probably would have taken about 3 to 5 days, if not a week, to get down to you, and then for you to get it, and then think about what to write back. Take another week to get up, man. We will have a conversation in real time so much faster than it would have been back then, which is nice because I mean, if something big happened, like, hey, Tommy, your mom's, up here in Pennsylvania, she, or something happens and I need to communicate to you, you're just not around. I can reach you so much easier than back in the day. Okay, you've reached out to me on what, like 3 different platforms because I was watching TV. I had my phone away, and I got an Instagram message from you, and then I get a WhatsApp, and I think you sent me a regular text message too. You're like, "Hey, we've been talking about doing this podcast interview for like a year, but we never really set up a time." And then you're like, "Hey, you sent me one with a calendar and dates and times to choose from." I was like, "Man, you know what? This makes it so much easier than just saying, 'Hey, Tommy, are you available this day?' Yay, nay. Hey, you available this one? I'm not. Hey, how about this? We can send people schedules of when we're free, which makes it easier than, having a one-way conversation like that. And here we are, man.
Yeah,
Finally,
the way of doing business with the phone and the cell, or like if you ever heard the pager, like there's a lot of hush hush stuff that went down. Like if I associated, since I heard about stuff people talking about yesterday, I got a pager for this drug deal or something.
Still pager.
That's why some people get a pager, but they got pagers. Their cell phone back in the day. I was taken all the way back to like 200 years ago. In the year, I think back to what's the guy named Paul Revere, the town crier. How long
Mm.
did it take him to spread a message of the British are coming? Took him like it wasn't like 6 weeks or 6 months.
Well, I mean, from the I
That
don't
was
know
by
actually.
horse.
Yeah, so if he had to walk it or write a letter, he'd be done. But yeah, I mean, if he had a phone, even like the older ones where he could just type in a number or dial up a number and it's like, hey, the British is coming. It would have been so much easier um, than him having to write down. But if he had a cell phone, he'd just be like, snap, hey guys, British is coming by sea. Get ready, send. You know, maybe it would have changed history. Maybe it would have been easier for us to win. Maybe we would have lost. Who knows?
A lot of planning had to been like done well in advance. Like they're coming, they have to know they're coming at least 6 months from now. Like they're coming, they're gonna get here, and then as soon as they hear it, it's gonna be like the next day they'll be there. But they'll be
Yeah,
ready. As long as you're out front of them somehow, it may still take 6 weeks, 6 months, but
well,
as long as there's planning.
I mean, let's be honest. Back then, I mean, they didn't have sonar or anything. Pirates and sailors back then actually probably did a lot better nowadays. But for them, they were probably just guesstimating where they were going to land. Hey, we start from England.
Right.
Where do
Was
we
this
end up? Pennsylvania, Virginia, Delaware. Like down the East Coast, they could land anywhere. But yeah, you could have just been like, "Hey guys, British coming! Let's all go." But hey, man,
from then, from just going back 200 years to now, like, and we know like the technology gets faster, gets better, gets more improved, and the rate at which all that happens goes faster too. So like in 10 years,
mm,
what do you see like based on what we have now?
10 years, man, probably a stalemate. I mean, technology has definitely increased a lot over the last, roughly 30 years, from car phones to, you know, flip phones to Blackberries to cell smartphones to these phones we got nowadays. But, most of the time, all they're doing is increasing little bits from what they used to have, like better camera pixels, upgrading software. A lot of it's just security updates that they don't want to have to put on older phones. And yeah, we get some new features, but I mean, the phone from this year, from 3 years ago, are a little bit different. But at one point, a phone used to be this huge thing you carried around, and then over like 5, 10 years, it went down. It increased a lot more. So I think we're slowly decreasing how much we upgrade. It's more focusing on AI. I mean, hell, dude, ChatGPT is definitely getting out of hand.
So like there's definitely like with everything used as a tool that I always like to say there's a right way to like use like a proper right like if don't just I don't if you don't use it for like the absolute 100% cheat code, use it to like help you think.
Yeah,
Like I hear like what Gary V says about Gary Vaynerchuk. He says use AI to like as a thinking assistant. Use it to like think with AI. Don't just have it do everything for you because then it's not human. You're taking away the human element from
yeah,
whatever it is you're doing.
bro.
If you use it to think.
Well,
So with
just
that, what ethical concerns you have about technology currently being used, or how you think something can be addressed?
Mhm. Well, man, it's kind of scary seeing how far we're coming and where we're probably going to go. Um, I mean, I've seen a lot of movies where AI or technology takes over. How I'd rather have Transformers than RoboCop down the road. But with Transformers, almost all of the world gets blown up over you know robots. So while it's cool having them, we also got to be, I don't want to say careful, but every movie portrays increasing robotic levels as a dangerous threat to humanity later on. The guys are like, "Oh, hey, I did it to help the world." Well, it ends up backfiring, or something like that. How should I say? Yeah, I mean, overall, it's definitely good to have it, but I feel like society is just probably or is too reliant on it nowadays than what we used to be. I mean, I definitely am on my phone a lot than I used to be a couple years ago.
Is
Um,
it possible? I had this question here. Do you think technology is having us more connected or more isolated? I see connected. We talked about a lot of connection, but is there any isolation?
yeah, I mean, it's got its good and bads, I should say. Uh, it brings us. It's easier for us to connect with people, but it also kind of disassociates us with others. Um, we're more reliant on using our phone to communicate with people than in-person actions. Um, to actually, I don't know. I mean,
There's been on this, like all the social media platforms. There's been a more, and Meta was one of the first, but they're all taking this direction. They're in essence on the group mentality. They're all out there creating groups or being in this group, that group, and like together. But there's more that, and it's been true before technology that I'm starting to see more and more of. There's more power in the one-on-one like we're having now. There's more power in one-on-one
yeah.
connection, one-on-one engagement. There's more power in the one-on-one. What would you have to say on the one-to-one?
Um, I mean, one-on-one contact is awesome, especially what we're doing here is, we're actually video chatting and versus a phone call, so we get a little more personal with it. As a group, you kind of lose out on that getting to know one uh, on a deeper personal level. Um, but yeah, overall, I mean, you probably get to know be a little cooler if you were doing this in person. Probably down in Texas right now because I've never been there. But um, overall, man,
Few
yeah,
more
one-on-one.
questions. Few more questions, and I'll get into a wrap up. Are you more creative or less creative when it comes to technology?
What do you mean by creating?
Horn go by. Create. Are you creating things, or are you, as a result of technology, creating what I don't know, whatever. I do the video, so that's how I see creative. But there's many different ways to create too. As I turn my
Um,
video back into focus.
yeah, I was like, you went out there for a second. Um, no, I don't really use technology to create anything. I mean, I don't use it to digitally create art. Um, I don't use it to create content like people like you. I don't make podcasts with my technology or anything. It's simply right now just a tool to communicate with people. Um, Seeing that I work a lot, so I use it to, call and, talk to people. But I mean, there's a lot of things you can use to create with it, videos to share online. Obviously you got YouTube. I don't do yeah. Yeah, I don't use technology to really create anything. Yeah, yeah, I don't. I mean, some people do, and it's awesome, but not me, man.
And is there anything that you would want to create, and maybe away from technology or using it either way? Is there something that you'd want to that you maybe have your eyes set on?
Well, man, I mean, in the business where I'm trying to go with financial education, helping people, I definitely need to have more of a digital footprint with reaching out, creating content like, hey, this is what I do, this is how I help people, um, stuff like that. But I really, at the current moment, I don't go on and do stuff like that. I don't advertise for myself. I don't advertise for other people. Um, Definitely something I need to start doing. It's growing in my social media accounts. So that's
I
something I look.
I started doing that like when I'm doing the one podcast aside from with the Toastmasters thing, and I started like
Mm,
making those posts over on like LinkedIn, and I started doing that just to like, hey, I'm doing this. Just no real reason why I'm other than just it's interesting to talk about it, and then you can tag the people you're involved with. So something like that, something that's pretty small too.
yeah, I got
It's
to
fun
start out.
just remembering.
Well, I'm gonna have to buy my Instagram followers now. Get a
I'm
blue
not
little check
I'm
mark.
not going that crazy. Buying Instagram followers. That's 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 like a whole nother ballpark. Uh, when you're talking how you earn them or buy them, it's just making you got to make the work to build the relationship. You
Yeah,
can't buy relationships. Less to the hard hitting, and then I got some fun, make you think questions that we can
mm,
wrap up on. So, how do you balance the benefits and the downsides with technology? So, addiction, distraction, loss of privacy. How do you balance it all that?
how do I? Hmm, a way to balance it is just limitations. Um, like I mentioned earlier, I rarely post anything on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, um, or anything. I don't even use a Twitter account. Um, I mean, just in the last, literally in September, I made my first probably post on Instagram with an actual face of mine. I mean, so I limit it to how much I share out in the world, especially about my personal life, because I mean, in my opinion, other than my close friends, nobody else in the world's really going to care about my personal history unless I actually know them. And I don't need to draw attention from people about my past or what I'm doing. I don't post on Instagram or Facebook to get likes or have people comment stupid crap on it. Um, so I think obviously, I mean, I can post more, but I choose not to. And
That's the thing. Just because you can doesn't mean you should or have to.
yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
I agree with that.
I know there's some people out there that post like daily pics about what they're doing or stuff like that. But and it's cool to know what they're up to. But at the same time, I mean, I don't talk to them in person anymore. I just follow them on Facebook or something to keep in contact occasionally. But it's especially when you start getting, tons of people you got to try and communicate with. It seems like it's harder to. keep in touch with certain people that you want to when you got 10,000 people following you or texting, sliding into your DMs and stuff. But yeah, I rarely post stuff. I've been limiting my online time to Facebook and stuff too, just um to certain things that help me grow. Most of my Facebook page now is inspirational quotes um from like Isaac Newton. Uh, I got quotes coming from Peaky Blinders. Stuff to help me kind of better my life instead of random distractions like I got some funny people on there. I'm not gonna lie that make stupid content that I just, give me humor, but I don't know, I just try to limit it down so I can actually focus on other things. It's been hard, man. There's no lie to that. It's hard not just
Oh,
to sit there and scroll and then just keep scrolling.
that's
I
one
don't
thing
even,
I don't do. I don't do that. I don't say this too much, and I feel it's probably I feel it's a good time to just say it now that I when it comes to like all my platforms, I'm selfish. My posts are for me first. I
yeah,
don't care if whatever anyone else thinks. It's for me, and if someone else relates to it, or some great, but they're for me. It's and I post for me first when I do, and if you're not doing it for you, then why else would you have to do it if it's not for you?
yeah,
But if you find that time, if you like, or if you may have another way to do it, or write this stuff down in a journal, or you may have other things that you do for you, and a little more private, and that's great too.
yeah, man. But see, like when you post on Facebook and I follow it, it's more like it helps me because there was a one video where I was literally just getting bombarded by Facebook ads and stuff and um random crap that I just didn't want. Like, hey, this is a feed or this is a person you'd probably be interested in. This person, and I literally was having to scroll down to find like posts from my friends I actually wanted to look at, like my close friends. So like I had to go back through and kind of like recalculate how Facebook was adjusting my feed because I know
Oh,
Instagram's
yeah.
just crazy now. Like
I don't like any of the algorithms. YouTube,
it's
and I like all the platforms if I'm not on their algorithm.
yeah,
Like
but
if I'm watching what, like going back to what we were talking about in the beginning of this conversation, I watch what I want to watch. I see what I want to see.
exactly, and
I don't rely on Facebook to tell me what I want to see.
that's the thing, man. I mean, people get sucked into it. Like like I said, I was watching Supernatural, and it's hooked my Google TV's hooked up to my Google account, and Google's hooked up to my Facebook. So I watch Supernatural now. I'm bombarded by supernatural things. Um, whether it's quotes, memes,
Darn me,
merchandise,
so
other TV shows like Supernatural, and I just got bombarded with it, man. And that's how it is. I mean, it's helpful in some ways, but then it starts showing me things that I should be watching, things, and then some people just start clicking on it, and then before they know it, they're watching 10 different TV shows that they didn't even want to watch.
oh man, it kind of came full circle to what we were talking about in the beginning, and we came back to that, like with all this stuff brought in. Great conversation. So, where do you like hanging out? Like, if there's any, I mean, at least, where do you like if someone say, "Hey, like in the digital side," or come say, "Hey, where do you like to hang out the most?" As far as social media goes.
Um,
how little or however much that you do.
Like I said, man, you reached out to me on a couple different platforms, but uh,
I know you're
honestly,
a busy
messaging.
guy.
Now, sometimes I mean, obviously, with you, I noticed it. Some other things like Instagram will pop up different, like someone's going live. I don't care about it. Um, but Messenger definitely doesn't get me notifications as quick as some other ones. Obviously, I'm on WhatsApp. Talk to a couple people there. Um, I'm I do prefer messaging, with people with my actual number that you know. Um, but Instagram recently has been keeping me in contact with a couple other people, especially since I met them at the summit. And I didn't get their phone numbers, so obviously I've been on there a little bit more lately than normal.
Yeah, but if you have
So,
your phone number is a little more personal, and then
yeah,
Instagram, if you're not ready to exchange phone numbers, Instagram I feel is actually a great second
yeah,
communication tool.
which is good because also I mean if you send me a personal text, like I just got one from my sister, it comes through first. Then it's I kind of limited the other notifications from Facebook,
Priorities.
Snapchat. Hell, I don't even use Snapchat. The only notifications I get is occasionally. So, Snapchat's like the least used app I use. So if you hit me up on that, unless I get a notification, it's gonna be a while. But I do my best to text people back, especially
Or
it's polite.
yeah, priorities. Set priorities. Know like who you want to get a little more personal with, and who you want to maybe keep that distance. Still get to know them before, and then it may be time to move on to that. Three three final questions. I one is like a set of two, and it's if you ever heard of. I always like to do this. Heard of Lewis. It's inspired by his final questions, the three truths, and three truths. I essentially have. What are three undeniable truths that you have about technology as the way we know it today?
Oh man, very undeniable truths about technology. Oh man, that's a thinker. I mean, it's definitely one. It's getting better with time. Um, two, I actually enjoy it better than before.
Enjoy it
Three,
more than you think.
yeah. The third truth is it's frightening on where it's going to go. In my opinion, it's definitely frightening.
It's scary and exciting at the same time. How can that be possible?
It's a horror movie.
Have you seen the one? I know I watched this one the TV show on Netflix, Black Mirror.
Never seen
It's
it.
actually that's actually one of the best TV shows I've seen, Black Mirror. But we're living Black Mirror right now.
Interesting. Black Mirror.
And so based on that, what are three lessons you have for people based on that to
Well, one is probably go and learn how to do stuff without technology, like um, also how to communicate in person, build that mental knowledge in case you know, um, something were to happen. Because I heard there was supposed to be a solar flare to knock out out of space. The solar flare was supposed to knock out the internet for like a whole month. Supposedly, someone told me, and I was like, "Oh shit." Okay, that was back in June. Well, June came and went, man, and nothing happened.
there was an episode I think like a month ago that was happening. I think we were experiencing some signal loss with some solar flares and our meteor shower or something. It was like a month ago.
And I mean, even without solar
Predicted.
flares or something like that, I mean, you never know. Obviously, an internet company could just shut down like that. Like, hey, what? You know what? we just feel like being a monopoly all of a sudden. Like, you don't pay us an extra 50 like, $50 a month, you're not getting internet service. They're always cutting, trying to like Verizon, like, oh hey, you join now, you save $200. Okay, well, what if they get into their friends like, hey, T-Mobile, let's just turn off all internet and demand more money. What are we gonna do? Well, we're probably gonna open up our wallets and pay it because life without internet right now would completely suck. So
Self-reliance.
the first thing I would say is build up reliance, get used to little by little, stop using your phone for certain things, start doing it in person, whether that's reading a map. First of all, like Google Maps go down, um, and you have somewhere to go, you better learn how to read a map. Um,
Get yourself a direction. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean that'd be huge. Oh, I forget the question.
3 lessons. I think you had like 2 lessons.
Yeah, well, basically, it's just I mean, obviously, learn how to use it and learn how not to learn how to not use it at the same time.
Like I always
Because
say, it's a tool. Learn how to use it as a tool that
yeah,
how can support
yeah,
you.
exactly, like your motto, it's a tool, man. Use it to your benefit. Don't get controlled by it. It's easy though, so do that. Um, hmm, be careful with it, man. Don't break it. It's expensive nowadays.
If you're
Unless
ever familiar with the Mr. Feeney, how to that's made me think of a Mr. Feeney quote when they're shooting out the making the news stories, and they're going and doing story on like love or something and fall in love. And Mr. Feeney came to them when he was being interviewed, and one of the quotes he came back was, "Be careful with that valuable equipment."
yeah, I mean, a brand new smartphone. Um, Basically, if you want a flagship phone like Apple's couple like $1,000, Samsung Galaxy S23 that just came out last this year, I think it's also like 1,100 to 1,200 dollars. And I mean, people get suckered into it. Like, it's great. Technology evolves, but at the same time, it gets a little more expensive. Like, you want the new phone. Most people nowadays that buy it are paying monthly on it because they couldn't just straight up buy it out. Like most people can't go out and drop $1,000 on a new phone without having to worry about it. So they pay monthly for it. And then some people just aren't careful with it. They'll throw it around, you know, but yeah, just be careful with it, man. Um, like I learned the hard way. If you can't afford to buy it twice, should you really buy it in the first place? And comes true with the automobiles and stuff.
Do you
Um,
need it or do you want it? Someone was always come to me that is that something you need or something you want?
exactly. Like, I mean, if you need a new phone, do you have to? For me, example, I use Androids. I prefer Androids or Apple products. So, like, hey, do I have to go out and get the Samsung Galaxy S23? No. Do I want it? Yes. Could I use something that costs, a couple $100? Yeah. It would do exactly the same thing as I'm doing now. Will it
If
save
you
me?
want it and you can manage it, then I'm saying go for it. But like,
I mean,
do you need it or want it? Like, you but some set some priorities too.
yeah, let's put it like this. I mean, I don't. There's a Samsung A15 phone that my brother has. Costs like $115 something compared to 1,300. Does the same thing as my phone does. I mean, does the same thing as my phone. I got a better camera. Better integrated functions that I use at work. But at the same time, same job saves me $900. every 2 years, let's say, saves me $900 every 2 years since people upgrade like that. What could you do with $900? You could buy a Summer to Greatness ticket.
Something, yeah, and get a whole bunch of connection there
Yeah.
for that price, and instead of just something that you can maybe get their Instagram and connect with someone, but go to Summit of Greatness, spend $900, and you'll meet like thousands of people in person
Well, I mean, you don't even
in
have to
Los
spend that.
Angeles.
Yeah, first time Los Angeles, guys. I mean, I bought my ticket for like $100 this time instead of like 3, which is awesome. And the rest of the money's going for an air flight this time. No more driving 8
Yeah,
hours for me.
driving. I enjoyed my Texas to Columbus drive when I did that. I
16
enjoyed it so
hours.
much I did it twice. 6 months later, did
Oh, wow.
a next level thing the second time around.
Mhm.
Anyway, before we get to the final question, is there anything else that you want to like throw out there, put out there? We missed anything you want to
Nothing that,
get off your chest?
well, pretty flat, but no, I ain't got
How
nothing.
can we support you, kind of thing?
Um,
I'm all about that.
I don't know how many people you got listening to you, but I don't know. The way you can support me is by supporting Tommy over here. What do you prefer to go by, anyways, on this podcast? Sweet tea?
I'm good with Tommy. I'm going back to my roots, what I was called as a younger
Okay.
Tommy.
Well, support Sweet Tea Tommy over here. Help him grow. Also help me grow because this video's on there. But yeah, man. Nothing really. What you got for me though?
And the last question I have, what is your definition of innovation?
Innovation. Damn, dude. Busting out the large vocabulary now. Not a word I use often. Patient.
When you hear innovation, what do you think of? To innovate.
To innovate. Basically the to improve is what normally associates with it. Especially when I'm working, someone's like, hey, like I said, it's not a word my company throws around often, but they're like, how can we innovate this? I'm like, oh, so yeah, normally I think of how to improve or how to make something better. That's normally what I associate with it. So
No wrong answers on this question. That was a great answer. To improve. Simple as that. To improve. Well, this was great conversation on how we can find our content, and I enjoyed the talk and look forward to much more that we're going to do in the future.
We hope you enjoyed this episode as much as we did. It's always a blast exploring the tech universe with you. But alas, it's time to wrap things up. If you've got burning tech questions or just want to say hello, remember you can reach out to us on our website, social media, or drop us an email. We love hearing from you. And if you found this episode as electrifying as we did, please take a moment to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Your feedback helps us keep the tech goodness flowing. Don't forget to share Tech Time with Sweet Tea with your fellow techies. The more, the merrier, right? As we sign off today, always remember that tech is a tool and it's here to serve you. So use it wisely, explore fearlessly, and keep it real in your tech adventures. Stay curious, stay connected, and keep rocking the digital world. Catch you on the next episode of Tech Time with Sweet Tea.